early start from Bundaberg. We've got about 8 hours across to the Fairway Beacon and then up into the Sandy Strait. It's going to be a lovely day. Light wind, I don't know, probably a bit to get the sail out once we get on course here, but we'll see how we go. But the plan is to get over to the Fairway Beacon while there's still a bit of run left in the tide, and that'll help us get down into the Sandy Strait. Once we get down in there, we really don't have to worry about what the weather does because it's pretty well sheltered, but yeah, just this last little trip across Hervey Bay, you've got to get the weather right for. So it means an early start from Bundaberg. We had a good day there yesterday, washed the boat down a little bit, checked my engine rooms, did a little bit more shopping, and met Bill and Belinda last night on the boat next door. Had a great little chat to them, interesting people, and yeah, back off again. Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. So this is our course for today. We've left Bundaberg and we're heading down into Hervey Bay, deep into Hervey Bay, to the entrance to the Sandy Strait. This is Fraser Island out here. This is the mainland Australia. Sandy Strait will take us all the way down behind Fraser Island, and we pop out here at Inskip Point, and then we'll have a run down to Mooloolaba, back out to sea again. Well, when you're cruising, if you want to do it comfortably, you really are governed by the weather. We had a very slow trip yesterday from Pancake Creek to Bundaberg because the wind was pretty well right on the nose. We had a southeaster blowing. It was only about 5 knots, so it wasn't too uncomfortable, but because it was from the southeast, it really did slow us down. We probably averaged about 4 knots for the whole trip and couldn't use the sail at all. We just didn't get it unfurled because there wasn't much use. Today would have been a better day to be heading from Pancake to Bundy because we've got a little bit of east-northeast today and we are using the sail a little bit. It's doing a bit, so it would have been a quicker trip from down there, but we were aware that we wanted to get down into the Sandy Strait because tomorrow the southeasterly is back in and it's going to blow quite strongly. So we're going to get down behind Fraser Island into the Sandy Strait where that wind won't bother us. You really are governed by the weather to a fair extent when you're out cruising. If you want to do it comfortably, if you're not worried about knocking your head against it and being uncomfortable, you can do it probably in most weather, but if you want to do it in comfort, the weather plays a big part. The forecasting is pretty good these days. Usually you can get a forecast up to 5 days out, and quite often they're pretty accurate. So that's how we do it anyway. Too old to be knocking our heads against it. No wind. what a dead flat day in Hervey Bay. It was a great little trip over. We've just passed the fairway mark, so we're in the channel that takes you down behind Fraser Island now. We don't have to go too far. We're going down a little spot called Little Woody Island, and we're going to anchor up behind Little Woody. I've anchored one side of Woody before, but we're going on the inside of it this time, and we've got some mates down there, and I've been told that there's a good beach for Ted to get onto when the tide's out. At low tide there's a bit of sandbank that comes out, that'll be good, and there's the beach at Fraser too, so we could probably get him over there, take him for a bit of a walk. But anyway, we'll catch up with our mates down here. That'll be a bit interesting. We'll have a few wines and a few laughs. We haven't seen them for probably 6 or 7 months, so it'll be good to catch up. But yeah, magnificent motor across Hervey Bay this morning. There's a bit of rain in the distance, but nothing here. It's just quite warm and sunny. Water's quite clear too. I hope this clarity stays when we get down behind Little Woody, because we might be enticed in for a swim. With Steve and Julia, and they've been crabbing today, and we're going to eat some of their crabs. It was a pleasant night behind Little Woody here, but the wind's got up now, and wind against the tide. We're a bit side onto it, so we decided to head up to Kingfish, which is not very far away. But yeah, it's been fishing this morning. Unbelievable, I know, but Wombi likes to fish, so we went out and caught a few fish. We're just seeing what we've caught in the book now, seeing whether it's worth cleaning them or not. I know we've got a few gars and they're all right. But there's some other fish that I think are trevally, and they mightn't be all that flash, but we'll see. We'll probably clean them and eat them somehow. But yeah, a little bit of a trip up to Kingfisher Resort, and we'll anchor off the beach there, probably get us out of this wind a bit better, so it should be nicer. So what sort of fish are they, Mom?
We don't know, do we? Maybe blue trevally, do you think?
Don't know. We'll see what they taste like, eh?
Okay. Help us out, someone.
Well, we've caught some fish, and before I go filleting fish, first thing I've got to do is sharpen the knife. Jeez, I love fishing. So the fish are caught, cleaned and filleted. Cup of tea now, and fish for dinner. Woo! Never thought I'd enjoy fishing in my life. What do you do for love? If you anchor here, don't miss the tide. Makes for a bit of hard work. So here we are in Cafe Stephen Jewell.
Smell the smell-aroma.
New coffee being made. What a great setup this is. Well, a bit of a grey day today. We went up to the resort and had a bit of a look around and bought a bit of lettuce, that's all we needed. We're trying to get the weather right to head down the coast to Mooloolaba and Moreton Bay, but there's a big low pressure system coming up in about 3 days time, 4 days time. So we're planning on skipping out across Wide Bay Bar on Tuesday. Weather should be okay for doing that. We might stop at Double Island Point if that lagoon's still tenable. And then we're going to have about a 10 or 12 hour trip down into Moreton Bay. But by Thursday afternoon, we're going to be holed up somewhere because there's a lot of wind coming, like 30 or 40 knots from the southeast. So we've got to be somewhere sheltered out of that when it hits. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on the forecast. Get down a bit further. We've got a couple of days until Tuesday, so we'll spend it down around the Sandy Strait, probably drop into Garry's. I've got some more friends in there I wanted to catch up with. We might spend a night there and then head down to Pelican Bay, which is just under Inskip Point, and that's where we'll leave from. And it looks like the weather's going to be a bit wet for the next few days, so yeah, makes it a bit more uncomfortable on the boat. All good, enjoying the Sandy Strait, although the water is quite murky and not enticing, doesn't entice you to get in, but yeah, it's pretty calm travelling anyway. We're skipping along at 7 knots at the moment, so you can't beat a bit of tide and a bit of wind from the right direction. Great stuff. We had a great little sail for about half an hour, and then the winds come around and we had to go out and get wet and get the sail down, but nice and cosy in the cabin here. Gotta love motor sailing, I think. What do you think, Wom? We're a bit soft, she reckons. So this is the area that they call Sheridan Flat, and this is where all the water from Hervey Bay runs into here, and it also runs in from the entrance at Inskip Point, and this is where it meets. So you run the tide up to here, and if you do it right, you run the tide back out again, back towards Inskip Point. But of course, we're a bit early tonight, so we're going to push a little bit of tide from here on in. But anyway, the thing is to judge it so you get through okay. We carried about 3 metres of water and we're probably halfway through the tide. So there's a bit of depth here, but yeah, you got to work it if you have a lot of draft. Pretty sandy bottom, so it's forgiving, but just be careful of it.